Oh wait, I'm interrupting. Apparently Chloe K is watching the podcast. Late night headphones glowing in the dark. Another episode about to start. A one down podcast on the air tonight. Talking Big Brother, breaking down the fight. Meanwhile in the Mythos arcade, secrets hanging in the clouds. Everyone playing the social game, but one string changed everything. Because somewhere in the middle of the show, something slipped they didn't know. A message moving through the feed, and suddenly the room went quiet. Chloe K is watching, yeah, the chat just caught it live. Chloe K is watching from the other side.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the live jury Q&A for One Up Big Brother for Mythos. Our final two are Dylan and Rose. And within the next hour plus, they will have the time to plead their cases to the jurors and potentially sway their vote to win the season alongside the $150 grand prize. However, it's time to bring in our finalists to the stage. I don't want to put too much attention on me because this is their night. So please welcome Rose, looking ravishing. Nope, and not Ryan, the new finalist, and Dylan. Hello, hello, welcome. How are we feeling before getting into this?
Oh wait, sorry, Rose. You
go for it.
I'm making a drink, so that's
Ooh.
The way to do it.
I should have done the same. I feel like if there's a point where I break, I'll go make a drink as well. THC, of course. I'm not drinking, but you know.
All right. I want to give you the rundown on how this will work. So to start things off, you will have 5 minutes to give an opening statement and speech. I will put you on the timer. Do not go over 5 minutes or you will be self-eliminated from the game and the other person will win the season. So I will... Not really. So how this will work, so whoever wants to open up first will then, when you do closing statements, close last and vice versa. So it's up to you to decide if you want to open first or close last. You know what I mean.
Dylan, where's your moose coin?
Oh my god, wait. It was my roommate's. I don't know if I have one.
What?
Not all the quarters in Canada have moose on them. I thought that was.
Yes. Okay, wait. Let me. Yep. We're going for a run. Hold on.
Coin flip.
We'll do this. I think it's in this one. I have like a whole thing of coins because coins annoy the fuck out of me. Where is she?
Oh,
I'll clean this later. Okay. Do you want moose again?
I want moose this time.
Okay, I'm gonna try to do this so that it stays, in frame.
It's okay if not. I trust you.
You get to choose. It's moose.
Ooh, okay. I'll go opening speech second, closing speech first.
okay.
Low key, we could have just talked about it because I wanted the opposite.
Well, I still think the moose is fun. I like the moose coin. I didn't know that until you did it.
He
So.
did it earlier this season. I forgot what for. I'm gonna be completely honest.
I have no recollection of this happening. So
I don't know. It was with Gigi and Liv. It was still when Liv was here.
So Gigi might remember what it was for. I actually completely forget, but we did it before.
all right. So for clarification's sake, Dylan, you will be opening first, correct? Is that what, Rose, you decided you wanted to open second? Okay.
I
Well,
actually remembered it was for the who got to buy the something.
Baojing.
Yep.
Yep.
The lottery machine.
All right, Dylan, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna go backstage and take Rose backstage with me. Your 5 minutes will start once you start yapping.
Okay.
So I'll give you a second and I will get things moved.
Okay. Hey guys. I know coming into this final two that I don't think I'm the popular pick to win. In fact, if I have any votes leading my way at this point, I would be more surprised. And here's my thing. That isn't unintentional. An example I want to use, and I don't know if anyone knows this example, but on Survivor 48, there was a trio of Joe, Eva, and Kyle. And Joe and Eva were these two big threats that were talked about this entire game, and they had one path. They had one alliance. And then there was Kyle, who was in this trio and was loyal to this trio and had this trio, but he also was connected everywhere else and constantly had paths, constantly had the choice of when to make a move if he wanted to make a move and what move he wanted. And it resulted in pretty much every decision being made at the center of Kyle. That was my game. I made so many choices in this game to the point where who left had so much to do with me that I think I was the deciding factor final six on. And I can add in that I think the only round that didn't 100% go my way is the Ryan vote. And that is simply just because I really wanted to keep Ryan in the game. I conceded for my alliance to let Ryan go. I didn't really want that. That's about it. I think there's so much in my game that's unknown. And I know a lot of you think you have your votes made up. If you do, I actually don't know. I don't know why I said I know. I am under the assumption that that's where you guys are just from my comments throughout the game. And my opening statement is just, I invite you to ask me questions and get to know my game, because there is so much more to know to my game that I think is unknown. And I would love to be able to explain that all for you to maybe open up your minds a little bit and lean my way, because I really do think there is a reason to lean my way. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Dylan. Clocking in at just about 2 minutes. Very punctual.
I feel like opening statements are hard because I just think jurors have questions. And yeah.
All right. All right. I'm going to take you back.
Yes.
Rose, your time is up. Whenever you start to speak, I will set my timer for 5 minutes. Don't go.
Do the same.
All right. Floor is yours.
All right. First off, I just want to say, I am so proud of myself and so thankful to all of you guys to be in this position. This is my third org I've ever played. This is the first time I'm in front of a jury, and knowing that I was only one of two people returning from Yuletide, I really did not think that I would get here. So, and I know that I wouldn't be here without so many people. First of all, my wife, who I think is watching this, which is a huge one. But secondly, every single person on the jury. It might be unbeknownst to Dylan, but realistically, every single person on this jury I was in an alliance with at some point during this game, aside from Meaty, who, shout out to our secret duo that never happened. But, from the peepers to the party people with Ella, such a huge part of my game. And that's why I've tried so hard to elevate her and her game at every moment I could. To JP and V, people that I had on the side, and the Pirates, which ended up being a great side that I think I wouldn't have made it here without the Pirates in that early portion of the game. So how I want to approach this, I really have three main takeaways that I feel differentiate my game from Dylan's. We played so much of this game hand in hand, me and Dylan, and he really was my true final two. And so I feel that I purposefully identified and played into my visible duos with Liv and Gigi, all while confirming to Dylan and reaffirming to Dylan since Final 12 at Cycle 5, his very first HOH, that he would be the person that I was sitting here with. I feel like by continuing to invest in that relationship and continuing to make Dylan feel secure with me, he felt secure with the Peepers, which kept the power structure in the place where I needed it to be. And so I really feel that I was the glue to the Peepers, even though Dylan may have been our double agent. My second point, I really feel like I've consistently demonstrated that I was here to play as hard as I could at almost every moment. And the moments that I didn't try as hard as I could, those were moments that I threw for strategic advantage. I knew that I was a target from Cycle 3 since Wu decided to out that alliance and put it on me and Gigi. And from that moment, it was all about threat management. And so while I did throw a select few that I'm more than happy to talk about, I came to play every single game, every single challenge, and I didn't step back from one. In my third point, I'm checking my time. My third point, I feel like I was a really visible threat, or at least someone who is talked about since Cycle 3, with that cake and Woo, whatever. But I feel like even though that was a really early hit to my game, I feel like I was able to show in that moment exactly how I would play the rest of the game. I was transparent with each one of you. I had individual conversations with each one of you, and I owned it. And I didn't step back from it. I didn't lie. I was transparent with you to the point where you were willing to reopen your relationship with me and build an individual bond. And a lot of those ended up turning into alliances that I leveraged further in the game. And I really feel like that emphasis for me on individual relationships with you all, maybe not extremely personal all the time, but I feel like I always had an individual game relationship with each one of you. And I feel like for the most part, aside from Ryan, which like another first, I've never been called a bitch publicly in an eviction speech, but I feel like for the most part, most people left going to jury feeling pretty confident that I wasn't their immediate next target. And I feel like while I was a huge threat throughout this game and continually talked about, that ability to continue to leverage those really visible duos with Liv and Gigi, I knew that I'd always be sitting next to someone who I knew I could convince people to vote out over me. Even if it was going to be close, I felt like I had that in the bag. And so ultimately, I'm not going to sit here and trash Dylan's game. We played so much of this game strategically together. He was an incredible player, and I have, for rounds, been underselling myself to him so that he would think I would come in here not very strong. But I know that I played an incredible game too, and honestly, one that I think was better than Dylan's. And so while he may have not seen all of those individual relationships, I know that you guys on the jury, I know how you left when we had those relationships. I know that many of you left saying that you would still vote for me if I was sitting here, and I just had to sell it to Gigi and Dylan that I didn't think that was true. And I got here. So that's where I really hope to make each and every one of you proud, because I wouldn't be sitting here without each and every one of you. So I'm looking forward to doing this questioning, but yeah, I'm hyped. Thanks.
Right on the money. That's crazy. All right. Thank you very much, Rose. I'm going to bring Dylan back to the stage. Hello, Dylan. All right. How this will go down. Each juror will have 5 minutes to ask their questions to one of you, both of you, however they want to do this. That's up to them. We're going to do this in the first juror who was put in up until the most recent. However, just because of timing issues, and I want to make sure because of time zones, V is here. And I want to make sure that V gets his time to speak to both of you and also sleep as well. So please welcome to the stage, V.
The gay one.
The gay one. With some very ambient lighting. All right, V, whenever you are ready to ask your questions, you are good to do so. I'm going to go backstage. Floor is yours.
Hi, I missed you guys. Hi, you guys are awesome. Congrats. Sorry, I wanted to do a really ominous entrance because I feel like I wanted to shake you guys up. But no, I'm so proud of you guys. Like, you guys both know how much you meant to my game, and I'm so happy to see you both here at the end. However, I'm already going to say that I'm going to be the asshole juror of the night with probably one of your most hated questions you can get. So we're just going to go right into it. I would like for you both to close your eyes. I will say the name of a jury member. If you think you have this person's vote, I want you to put your hand in the air. If you think you don't have this person's vote, leave it down. Sound simple? Let me quickly make sure I have everyone left because I don't want to like accidentally miss someone. Alrighty. First juror, Mighty. Second juror, Liv. Joshua. Okay. Ryan. The best juror of them all, myself. Nightly. JP. Ella. And last, but certainly not least, Gigi. Alrighty, you can both open your eyes. To the jury, please take that information as you can. For the rest of my time, I'll quickly just, say my worth because, I know both of your games very well. I worked with you guys very closely in a lot of the game. Dylan, I've known you for years. I know very well how you play. You're a fucking smart person. I know you're always insulated with literally everybody. That's how we both play, and you were able to do it better than me, so I have to give you kudos. And Rose, I told you I was really worried for you, being able to prove me wrong. And you know how proud I am of you that you were able to prove me wrong. You were able to trust and insulate yourself in the way that I told you to do so. And you did a strategy that I have always done in Big Brother and succeeded at it. So I have to give you your kudos there. I think you both have played very strong games. And I'll be very honest. I do think the jury is underestimating you, Dylan. I think you have read that very correctly. And you are definitely the underdog. But it doesn't mean that, you can't rise because, the higher you are, the higher you can fall. And I've seen it happen plenty of times.
A lot of my answers were this because it is votes that I don't think are locked and that I would like the chance to earn.
I don't think every vote is locked. I can definitely say that. Mine isn't either. I'll be watching the stream. I'll be listening to your answers. Because for me, it's very much also just a heart versus brain thing. Because I think, if I follow my heart, it goes a certain way. If I think game-wise, it goes another way. And I think you both are incredible. That I don't need to repeat that. I think I just have one question for you, Dylan.
Yes.
What was the truth of my round?
So,
because I want to know, because from my perspective, obviously I didn't know that JP had an extra vote. So I know that whatever I was doing, it was useless anyways.
Yes.
But from my perspective, both you and Gigi were saying you wanted to keep me, but then the other was saying they weren't. So I just want to know clarity.
So the truth of your round was you were Rose's absolute target. And then basically nobody wanted to actually tell you that you were leaving. And then when it came down to me, I was in a situation in this game where I was on a personal level so close with so many people that when it came down to the nerds and the fact that had to break at some point for the peepers, I didn't want to be the one to choose who left and then who didn't, especially when I had chosen Knightley the round before, or sorry, Mark. I had chosen Mark. I'm sorry. That's going to take a second to get in my head. But I chose Mark the round before. So then it was just kind of like, I want to let people choose. And it was very much, we're all voting V. But then nobody was telling you. And I was in the chat saying, guys, you have to tell them. And Rose didn't want to tell you. Gigi didn't want to tell you. And then I feel like also you weren't really listening because one of the things I said was fully hey, I really do think I'm going to vote you here. And then Gigi pinged me and he was like, why did you just say you're very much keeping V? And I was like, what? I didn't.
Well, the reason I kept telling Gigi that you were keeping me is because, one, you told me, and two, Gigi was saying he was keeping me the whole time and how he wanted to vote Nightly.
Yeah,
And like, I'm
that
very
is-
transparent. Gigi, if you're watching, it lost you my vote, by the way. Because at that point, I knew I was fucked the moment I nominated. I told Rose it exactly. So, but
Well,
wish you guys luck.
Can I
Do your
just say
best.
something?
Don't
Like,
think Nathan is going to allow you.
Go for it.
Okay, go ahead, Rose.
I feel like Dylan said that you were my absolute target, and I don't think that's the case. I think that realistically, Gigi and Dylan felt more threatened by you. I would have much preferred Knightley to go, and that's where honestly, I just think like Gigi wasn't budging, and that's where I just feel like. But I was honest with you. That's where it's like I told you you weren't my target, but I think going into it, like I wanted it to be Knightley. I knew that if I had it be Knightley, I would lose Gigi and Dylan, and I just couldn't do that. And I told you as much that like realistically, Gigi really did not want you in the game. And so that's where it's like I felt like my hands were tied. I honestly had hoped that you would win and that Knightley would end up going, but that's like not the way it shook out.
Well, before I take too much time and Nathan is going to smite me out of the server, I wish you both the best of luck. Kick ass, do your best. The game isn't over, and I love both of you.
All right. Thank you very much, V. And also thank you very much for playing this season. V, if you can exit the studio just because we're at capacity and Meaty would like to join, you're more than welcome. Continue watching through the YouTube stream. But there's like a 10 limit capacity here. So kicked out. Actually, I did it myself. All right. Give us a moment. Sorry, V. V's gonna be like, why the hell was I kicked out? Let me ping Meaty. He's coming. Believe me. Yep. Drink that drink.
I'm nervous. Like,
this is honestly a very good thing. The fact that we're at capacity means pretty much every single juror is involved within this Q&A, which does not happen often. So, congrats. Another great Q&A.
no, this is like my first bad hair day in weeks. Like, this is so unfortunate.
It's all right. The finale's tomorrow, so your winning picture can.
Like, the amount of gel that's gonna go in my hair is not even gonna be funny.
I don't know.
I got 2 JP.
I feel like it's like I'm not sure about this little part right here, but it's all right.
All right. Who just joined? All right. Up next, we've got our very first juror, 11th placer. We've got Meaty.
Hello.
Welcome.
Congratulations. It feels like forever. Oh my God. Okay. Oh my God, I'm gonna forget my question.
Here, I'm going to go backstage. Meaty, go whenever you're ready.
Okay, let me think. What was it? Oh, okay. So being first juror and then Liv coming in after, like we talked a lot. So like I feel like I actually know your games pretty well. And I feel like that 4 was very strong and you guys were killing it. And I was like, oh my God. And then you guys just kept killing it. Like as being first juror, I just was like, oh my God. Again and again and again. So kudos. Having been in like a strong alliance and knowing like you have a path to the end, what was your original like end game final 2 wise? If it changed, how did you adapt to then also get to the final 2 without it being your original plan? Does that make sense, my question?
Yes.
Okay, that's my question. And congrats to both of you again.
Thank you.
I can go first.
Okay.
I guess my answer, and I sent this in a video to Liv the moment that she exited the house, that my plan was Dylan to be my final 2. I knew that if I wavered from that, that Dylan would feel that and ultimately have the option to defect. And I knew that so long as I was 100% reassuring with Dylan at every single moment, that it would pay off. And it clearly did. He saved me twice. He brought me here. He saved me at Final Five. And I feel like that commitment to him and building that relationship from Final 12 onward, that's been my plan. And if I had won, I still would have brought Dylan. We have been playing this game the whole time together. He might not say the same thing, but for me, it ensured the power structure. And I felt like if he felt my if he felt me waver at all at any moment, I think he would have every option to have fuck us over. And I think that consistency from me to continue to reassure and continue to buy in is part of the reason why the Peepers was so strong. So
my answer to that question is I torture hosts with this because they hate my DR questions and they hate my applications for this. I don't plan. The way I like to play games, because I love to insulate myself in so many paths, is that I play an adaptive game. I go round by round by round on how can I move this round to maximize my odds. I will say the one thing I did plan, and from the first week in this game, was Liv. Liv was my original Final Two. In fact, I knew about that alliance of 6 week 1 when it was just being formed, before the chat was even made. And then I started planting seeds in people's heads that, oh, there has to be a 6. There has to be a 6 somewhere to kind of build up the threat level of this 6. With that, Liv was my loyalty, but then Liv left. And then I just started throwing comps because I had the nerds with V and Mark. I had Ryan, a really strong close ally. We worked together on some competitions. I had Ella and JP. Ella, someone I worked so closely with in this game. And then I had the Peepers, who were my loyalty, people I wanted to protect. But I said to myself, like, hey, if I win a comp, I'm going to blow up my game. They're responsible for those comps. And if they win them, and I'm happy and I will work with them. But I'm going to work on me as well. So I was adaptive. I helped with the gems. I helped with GG's Dragon win. But the other comps, I threw them because at the end of the day, I was going to be adaptive and I was going to take my maximum path odds to the end. And if that meant, hey, not sticking my neck out for the Peepers with the competition, that's how I was going to go. And then once it got to the very end of the game, I decided I actually think I was more connected than these other 2 players. I feel like I had more power in this game than these other 2 players. I feel comfortable going to the end with these 2 players. I just need a chance to pitch my case. And that is what I'm doing now.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. And good luck. Have fun with the rest of the questioning. Bye.
All right. Thank you very much, matey.
Bye. Thank you, Nathan.
You're welcome. All right. Up next, we have the People's Princess, the Shamrock Queen, and the diva with the most amazing accent ever. Please welcome Liv.
Oh, and Nick.
All right, Liv. I can't hear you, by the way.
Like poses. Yes, the peace sign.
Do you know ASL? This is so awkward.
Now.
Oh,
yay!
Hey, technology.
All right.
Technology. Can't even say right.
All right, Liv. I'm gonna give you 5 minutes. I'm gonna head backstage. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Congratulations to both of you. This is both my dream Final Two and my nightmare Final Two because I love the both of you. I'm so proud of you guys. I'm so happy to see you guys here. I have so much to say, so much love for you guys, but we'll save that till tomorrow. I'll keep this short. Neither of you have to convince me you played a good game. I am convinced. I'm sold on both of you. I think you guys both played a great game. Instead, I want to tell you guys to tell me maybe about a flaw or a downfall. What was your biggest weakness? Anything in that ballpark? And how did you maybe adapt or how did you play around it? So guys got me. I think you guys are good now. Convince me that you're bad too.
Rose, do you want to just go back and forth, like who answers first? And so, okay, so I'll go first this time. I've thought about this a lot. My biggest flaw of my game is I hurt people. By being the member of the Peepers that was connected to the other side, I made the connections to those other side. And you said it yourself. You said I could talk to a wall. And the issue was nobody on this cast was a wall. In fact, everybody on this cast was extremely sociable. And it caused me to make actual personal connections with so many people. And I've thought about this a lot, especially I had a conversation with a friend about this the other day where I had basically two options because personal relationships evolve to game relationships. And my two options were, without outright saying, hey, I'm close with you, but I'm targeting you or I'm against you, which would have, I feel like if you're asking me to do that, that's kind of unfair. My two options were, don't get to know these people. Don't build those personal relationships. Don't get to know people in those friendships. And that's just not a choice I'm going to make. I play these games to make friends. I play these games to get to know people. I learned so much about so many people in this game, and I loved it. And then my other option was to build those personal relationships, and ultimately taking the path that I did, I was going to hurt people. Final 5, if I don't use veto there, I really hurt Rose and Gigi. And if I do use veto like I did, I really hurt JP and Ella. And the truth is that's just because I got so close with all 4. And I think the biggest flaw in my game is that I hurt people. And I don't exactly know if that was avoidable in the game that I played. And I guess that is just a flaw of the game that I chose to play.
I think the biggest weakness of my game, or like the biggest mistake that I made, that like I just think realistically my biggest mistake was also at Final 5 and just generally my soft spot and like wanting to root for Ella. I just love Ella so fucking much. And I spent an hour on VC before that final it was Final 6, not Final 5. The Final 6 where Ella won. Or maybe it was Final 5. Where Ella won, I spent an hour on VC with Ella. And I told her straight up I would have to nominate her because I thought that my relationship with Gigi would hurt because of Dylan. She asked me straight up if I was in a trio with Dylan and Gigi. I lied there. I felt like, aside from confirming that, I said every single thing to Ella and was as transparent as I could have to try to get her to target Dylan and Gigi. And so when the HOH was there, I trusted Ella to take the move that we had talked about for an hour, where she didn't tell me that she would put me up. And at the moment that Dylan was hesitating, I pinged him to go C1. I saw that I was going to lose. I knew that would be a move that lost him and it would put Ella in power. That was a risk that honestly I shouldn't have made. I really wanted to see Ella take a shot at this game and have like that game-winning moment, because I at that point I just developed such a soft spot for her that I wanted to see her like fucking rocket and take one of these two huge players out. Instead, I put myself at risk, and that was a huge mistake. Like trying to get in Dylan's head and getting him to pick C1 over anything else, that was a risk that I just didn't need to take. And ultimately, I think that was like one of the worst moves I've done, because I could have gone out there, especially had Ella tell Dylan that I did that. So it was a huge risk, and it was because of my soft spot for Ella. And I think I probably made other decisions in the game that were just because I loved Ella so much and wanted to see her there in Final 4 with us. So yeah, I think that was probably the riskiest, dumbest move that I'd made. And honestly, it fucked Dylan over, and I don't think he knows that. So I'm also sorry for that.
All right, thank you, guys. Oh.
If the time's not up, I do just want to throw out there, I was throwing Final 5 HOH, and when you said C1, I said, oh my God, green light to throw. That's what happened through my brain. That wasn't, I can develop on Final 5 later on another question, but that's, yeah.
All right, thank you guys both for answering my question. I'm so proud of you guys. You guys are killing it, and I really want to see the both of you own this finale. And I can't wait to catch up tomorrow. Good luck, guys.
Thank you, Liv, and thank you so much for playing once again. All right, I'm going to put you backstage. Up next, my voice is getting hoarse. I just did a podcast episode before this, so we're going back to back. Up next, we've got the meme king the icon himself. How did he get as far in this game as he did? I have no fucking idea. Up next, we've got Joshua. Welcome, Joshua.
What the fuck? Hello? Okay.
All right, go ahead.
My phone's died. I have 10%, so let's get this on, honey. I think you guys both play like very congenial and kind and nice. People perceive you as warm individuals. So for my question, I want you both to just how you say it? Take every juror. I want you to insult every single one of them. And I want it to be a very clever insult. I don't want it to be something like, oh my God, your shoes are so bad. I want something really clever. And yeah, just do it. I want you to see the mean bone, honey. Thank you.
What a lovely question to go second on. Have fun.
Oh God, I'm a Vermonter, so I'm not. And Vermonters are not known to be very.
Okay,
mean.
I'll take you to the jurors. Okay?
Yeah. Okay. So, Meaty. I think Meaty. Dude, you never had a fucking shot. I just feel like realistically, from the moment that like that final six happened and you were connected to Woo, like you had no shot. I feel like you didn't talk a whole lot of game to me, and so it felt like very easy to take you out there. And I don't know whether you bought it or not, our secret alliance, but that was like, clearly not it. Joshua, yo, you can read my DR. Have fun. Have fun.
You should live. Don't
Liv,
forget.
I think Liv, she talks too much. I think she just like talks way too much, and she just like has way too much to say, and it obviously got her in fucking trouble here.
Ryan is next.
Ryan called me a bitch, so I feel like I can call him a bitch back. So let me just say, Knightley, Knightley, like I sent you guys will see what I sent you guys, but like I had such a bad first impression of Knightley. I feel like he did not do himself justice there in his first impression, and I feel like he only reiterated like feeling a little bit like potentially an outsider.
V.
V, you gotta own a fucking lighter, dude. Like I don't know how you don't own a fucking lighter. Smoke some weed, dude. And
JP
is boring. Sorry.
Ooh!
Business bro. I'm sorry. You gotta talk more, dude. Like, let's go. 20-minute voice chats to do business. Like, how did you think that you were gonna be like close game wise? To me at least. And then Ella, I'm not gonna say anything mean about Ella because I fucking love her. So if you want to not vote for me because I'm not gonna say shit about Ella, that's fine. And then Gigi, you're loud as fuck. You're like just so loud. And so every VC that we had, it was always so fucking loud. So yeah.
Dylan, you're next.
Okay, I'll go opposite order. I just think it would be fun. Gigi would definitely be on the beauty tribe, if you guys get what I mean. Ella, like I don't like have like a great insult because like yet again that's someone I was close to, but like let me just think. You didn't have matching socks in the talent show, and some people found that personally offensive. I was trying to think of a roast for JP, but I just did not finish it. When it comes to Mark, I really thought you'd laugh at that roast, the do not finish joke. That's sad. Mark, no, it's hard. I was close to so many people in this game. Mark, a paragraph a day doesn't necessarily mean a strong conversation. B, our relationship was twisty, kind of like the org we host together, and it twisted the wrong way several times. Ryan, sometimes can be drier than the Sahara, which is something we had discussed a couple times because I was not afraid to call that out. Joshua, you have a very, very special talent of letting people know to go the other way. Liv, I just think I was gonna use the talk too much one, so now I'm thinking of another one. I don't know why a 4-leaf clover shows up in my head, but like, I don't know. I just think it's a lot of emotion for a clover. And Meaty, if you're gonna play all sides, I think you just got to be a 19-year-old twink to do it.
Ooh, my God! Oh my God! Whoa!
And that's time. That's all we got. Library is now officially closed. All right, Joshua, any last things you want to add?
Hear me? Is my mic working?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, not really. Good luck to the both of you. My evil twink and my butch lesbian. Good luck.
All right. Thank you so much, Joshua. And thank you so much once again for playing. Put you backstage.
Guys, I don't think the vodka pineapple was smart. I'm already feeling it.
Yeah. All right. Up next, we have a juror. We're going back in time with this juror. 8th place. So far back, you'd think we're going back to the start. Up next, we've got Ryan.
I should have thought of that. Damn.
Bro, fuck that shit. Okay, hi. I'm walking across a bridge right now. Congratulations to both of you. Rose, I want to deeply apologize for calling you a bitch. Low-key, I completely forgot I did it. I was hoping that I didn't, but I did. I'm sure you understand that my tempers were flared about being eaten by a dragon. Dylan, I have 2 questions for both of you. Dylan, I feel like a lot of the moves that we talked about in the jury were made to benefit the core 4 that you had with Rose, Gigi, and Liv. What's one of the moves that you made that actually like benefited you the most rather than those 3?
I actually want to say I think I'm a massive part of the reason why those 3 were playing with their backs against the wall the entire game. The second I heard about that 6, I ran to you, I ran to Meaty, I ran to quite a few people actually. I'm just, you and Meaty are the first 2 that come to mind. And I was like, hey guys, like, I feel like there's got to be a 6-person alliance burn. Like that always happens at the start of a game. And if there is, they're dangerous, they're scary, like they're the social ones and we shouldn't let them dominate. And I was a big voice in saying that. And then the 6 got leaked, which thank you so much, Woo, for that, because that was a blessing. And then I went to my alliance and I was like, hey, I won HOH. I'm going to take out all of your closest ally. Because outside of the 4, not all of them, I don't know who everyone was really close to, but all 3 of them had said countless times how much they loved Young. And then Young went on the block and got voted out because Young leaving meant less options for them and more reliance on me. That was for me. Then I threw comp after comp after comp because if they lost and they were to be targeted, I was safe. Oh, guys, I lost the comp. They weren't going to come after me and throw me under the bus because I just lost a comp. What can I say? And then if they had gone home, I had paths with you. I had paths with the nerds. I had paths with JP and Ella. I had path on path on path on path. I was constantly moving to keep myself in a position to always be safe in this game. I did not get nominated by accident. I didn't fumble into that. I ensured that. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Rose, I think you played a phenomenal social game, but with that, I think at times there was moments where there was kind of unnecessary lies. For example, I think the biggest one for me is like trying to revive the pirates an hour before like the dragon awakens when I had just donated gems to you. There is no world where I think anyone else is going to awaken the dragon other than Gigi, but that's just like one example. Why at times where when you did like stuff like this, what was the intention and how did it like benefit your game so that you would go on farther?
I think the thing is that I think from very early on being targeted or like it getting out or whatever, Wu saying that like me and Gigi were the two that like had leaked it. I think it made it very clear from that moment that for whatever reason it was me and Gigi, that it was clear that both of us were targets in that way. And I feel like had I retreated like and like Dylan, like throw a bunch of competitions, I feel like it would have been much easier to take me out. Whereas continuing to maybe be like a little messy, like the fight with Liv, like we didn't need to do that, but we did, right? And I feel like there's certain things where even if it was messy, it kept it where I thought that I could say, oh, I was so messy, there's no way people are going to vote for me in jury. It in that way, I was already from the beginning put in a messy situation. So I feel like leaning into some of the mess a little bit more, I feel like it just let me slide by because I think people then underestimated me for making what they thought were poor decisions. And I think in past games, I have played a much more similar game to Dylan, where it's like playing all sides, lying to people, and ultimately I was cut at Final Four, right? And so I felt like coming into this, I needed to like play louder. And I even talked to Joshua about this, that like if I wanted to survive, people were going to make me loud anyway. So I needed to like feed into that narrative so that people would see me and Gigi as being loud. And then I could then say, because I knew Gigi wasn't having the connections with you and Knightley and others, that like, yes, I made this mistake, but at least like you have me in this one individual way. And so I feel like that's where it was like, yes, I was being messy, I think, with a lot of people, but I think part of it was to then go back to the individual relationship and then be vulnerable in that moment. And I feel like a great example of that is the weapons HOH. I was a fucking shit show that HOH, and like I wanted to take the heat. I wanted to be messy. I wanted to shoot at everyone so that then I could come back and use that as a way to then build vulnerability and trust with you guys individually, because I knew that I needed that on an individual level. So that's where it's like, yeah, I mean, I just felt like leaning into it at that point was the only thing I could do. So
All right, perfect. Thank you guys so much. Congrats to both of you. I think you played fantastic, all things considered. And don't go back to the start like me. I heard that has bad things. So that's make it to the end. Get to the finish line. Unlike me. I'll see y'all.
All right, thank you. Oh, I was gonna make a fun joke. I was gonna wish his mother, his homeless mother, good wishes. His mother isn't homeless, by the way. Okay. Anyways, up next we have the man who did a whole 180, found himself within the One Up Big Brother arcade. He is unable to join tonight, but in true Mark fashion, he left us a video, a 7-minute long video for both of you to watch. So he is an editing king. So did I expect anything less? No. So I'm going to share my screen and you are about to see Mark's jury questioning. All right. Make sure you can see that. Doop, doop, doop. Nope. Get off. It says it's here. So where? Oh, look at that. If you can't hear the audio, let me know. I don't know how. I've never done this before, so we'll see.
Hi there. It's your least favorite juror, Mark. Unfortunately, I couldn't be here live because of work schedule conflicts. I should be blaming Nathan or Soul for that, but unpopular opinion, I'm going to blame Will for that because, like, duh. So yeah, I couldn't be here live, but if you learned anything from my time on playing with you guys, you know that I am always going to try and entertain and put on a show in the process. And because of that, you are all now saying, wow, this dumbass is not funny in the slightest. He's actually embarrassing himself right now. And you would be correct. But I find it funny anyways, so I'm going to do it. After all, I am editing this video again, as you can tell, because I'm going to traumatize one of my best friends. Sorry, Ryan. You're going back to the start. And I'm going to do something that I didn't do during the talent show, which is dress up, obviously. Fun fact, the reason why I didn't dress up for the talent show was because I actually recorded my video 2 weeks in advance from the competition because I knew that I wasn't going to be able to do a talent show audition in my dorm room. If you could tell from the video that I submitted, that is not the same room that I am currently in or during my eviction. So, yeah, if I knew that, I probably would have dressed up in something ridiculous as this, an Alucard costume that I got at Halloween 2024. Now, let's get one thing straight. If you guys call me Nightly at least once throughout this jury questioning, you are losing my vote. And by this point, you have probably already called me Nightly at least once. So both of you have lost my juror vote in the process. I quit. Goodbye. No, I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to vote because you guys call me Nightly instead of Mark. Although from this point on, I would respect it if you did call me Mark moving forward because, like I said in my final words, I felt like I played more like Mark instead of Nightly. So from here on out, I would respect that if you did call me Mark from now on. So thank you very much. Now, as for jury questions, I mean, what is there to question, really? I mean, I think this decision should be obvious, right? One of you actually sent me a goodbye message, and the other didn't. But then I learned that one person who sent me a goodbye message was actually lying about a couple stuff and was trying to jury manage me, and I don't enjoy sucking up. So now we're back at square one, aren't we? Very unfortunate, isn't it? So instead, I need to ask you guys jury questions in the process. Now, the question I want to ask one of you has probably already been taken and asked, or if it isn't, it's being asked by a future juror, and I'm too rude to say I want to ask that. So instead, we have to get a bit more creative, but hey, I'm always trying to be creative, obviously. So that won't be an issue for me. So, jury questions. How do we do this? Let's start with Dylan. Dylan, I think you played an incredible social game. You had me fooled this entire time that you were on my side and that there was no way you were working with Gigi and Rose. You were never caught. You were never nominated once. That is very respectful. There's just one problem. I feel like a lot more of the strategical decisions were based on Gigi and Rose. Whereas with you, very social indeed, but I'm looking for a full package as a winner. And I see them as the more strategical forces, while you were the more social player that could fly under the radar. So, my question for you is, well, it's basically a statement, but I want to ask you to basically explain to me a move that you pushed to Gigi and Rose instead of them pushing to you. I truly want to get a sense for your strategical input and you actually need to draw a line. As for Rose, I think you also played a really great social game. There's just one type problem with it. Dylan was never able to be caught playing all sides. I caught you playing all sides basically at the end of the pre-jury. And I know you had to deal with the leaked alliance thing. I completely get that. But other actions that you did in this game didn't help your cause, such as your actions during the final 12 HOH that I won, you being very shady in conversation with me during the live double eviction where I got nominated, the fake fight, which I learned was part of the soul right task, but still not a good look for you. So overall, I did consider targeting you at certain points, and comp results just went your way to where it benefited you. But say if you didn't win that veto at the final 10, I could have very likely pushed the target on you. So what I need to know from you is what was going to be your argument if you were on the block next to your closest allies in Gigi and Liv, and I'll throw Dylan in there as well. Basically, if you were next to any of your people you were in your majority alliance with, what was going to be your argument for why you could stay, and how do you think you would have enacted it? I take my job as a juror very seriously. If I didn't, I wouldn't even be bothering asking questions and would instead go with who I like the most, and we would already know where that would lie. I hold too much respect in this community for me to base it on that. I want the winner of One Up Big Brother Season 4 Mythos to be the full package. And by asking these questions, I hope to get a gauge of how you are the full package as both a social and strategic player. We don't care about physical gains because, like, who cares? And also, comp results are basically spread out until like the end game. So, who cares in that process? So, yeah, those are my questions for you. And just remember, one bad mistake could possibly lead to you losing my jury vote in the process. And I'm not referring to my name. If I don't feel like you are being super authentic in your questions, then it could be all over for you. So, show me that you are the full, complete package, and you will get my jury vote. It's that simple. And with that, I leave you. Adieu.
All right. Thank you very much, Willy Wonka, for that lovely video. I don't know what Knightley's question was. Oh, see, I just lost his jury vote.
Rose, do you want to go first for this one?
Yeah, I can go first. I think, like I said earlier, I do think I was playing from the very beginning with my back against the wall, and I think I knew that coming into this, especially when they announced the cast only having 2 returnees. Like, there was no world where after like burning Chloe K and Yuletide that if she had stayed longer, she would have been the one to like blow my game up. So it's like realistically, I knew from the beginning that it was very likely that I was going to have to play a louder game than I had to. And honestly, I'm a little bit where it was like fun feeds. Like, I feel like the fight with Liv, like I did feel like that was just like for fun. And I think that there were certain people on this jury who did appreciate having like someone who was louder and who was not afraid to take a little bit of heat. I think in regards to the lying, like, yes, I definitely lied unnecessarily at times. And to be honest, it's just because I'm not a super experienced org player. I probably just lied more than I needed to because I was like trying too hard to like keep all doors open. And I think realistically, like, had I been sitting next to like Dylan has throughout this jury questioning saying that he wouldn't have been targeted, just like people were coming to him saying that like that me and Gigi were their biggest targets. People were also coming to me saying that Dylan was their biggest target. So it's not like either of us weren't being talked about, especially like final 10 forward. Like, realistically, I think everyone saw me, Gigi, and Dylan all as very formidable players. And if Dylan thinks that he didn't have a target on his back and that people didn't acknowledge that, I think that's not giving enough credit to the jury. And that's where, honestly, had I been sitting next to Dylan, I would have been scared. Point blank. I think that he did have stronger personal connections. I tried my best to make short-term game relationships with people, but at that point, people had already kind of been turned against me because of the way the early game went. I think realistically against Gigi, I do think I had stronger personal relationships. I think I would have stayed against Gigi because I had been putting in, as soon as Liv left, I was then selling this narrative of like, oh, Gigi and Dylan are tight because of this showmance thing. Like, I was trying to drop those seeds so that then if it was me and Gigi, there's a reason Gigi's in a duo with potentially Dylan, even though I was, his outward. Gigi could have had 2, and that would have been my pitch against Gigi. I think against Liv, it was very clear. I think what Liv would have left, and that was kind of my early game strategy. Was like, even if I was playing a little messy, I knew that Liv was the bigger social target, which is why I wanted her to be my public duo. And so that's where realistically, I don't know if I would have stayed against Dylan. And that's where me really investing in the relationship with Dylan for him to save me was absolutely the thing that needed to happen the most, because I knew that I might not stay against him, but I was relatively confident against Liv and Gigi. And so, yeah, I think I will own, like, I probably lied too much. I got too spun up, I think, sometimes, and a lot of you guys saw that. And like, I'm just like less experienced at this. So I think I did overplay sometimes, but I was put in a position where that was also kind of what was expected of me. And I knew playing into that narrative was ultimately going to, again, allow me to kind of be vulnerable, because I was feeling extremely chaotic throughout this game. And I feel like so many of you guys, did help center me, that it did build that personal relationship and at least opened you up to keeping me one more round. I don't think, that was my goal all the time was, can I get this relationship to be one more round? And I think I did that okay. And that's where, yeah, I was just always aiming for one more round. So yeah.
Before I say my statement, I just want to say I don't think I'm disrespecting the jury and saying that I don't know why my camera quality went so shit. What the fuck happened? Is it the lighting? It is the lighting. Okay. I don't think I'm disrespecting the jury and saying I wouldn't have been nominated. I'm starting to slur my words. I should not have drank that. But Ryan had an HOH at Final 10. I wasn't nominated and was chosen for veto. Ella had an HOH at Final 5 and did nominate you and Gigi and not me. Like Knightley just said, sorry, Mark. Oh my goodness, Dylan. Mark had just said that like he was fooled by me and thinking I was close to him. It's not a disrespect thing. It's a confidence in my own game and my own social relationships thing, and just evidence-based. Now, to answer the strategy question, I'm not going to go into Rose's nomination question because I think we all know what would have happened at Final 10 had that luck veto gone differently. But to answer the strategy question, a lot of our interests did align because, for example, if we want to look at, for example, Final 8, Ryan going out there, while I loved Ryan and hated to see him go, left me in the Final 7 in a trio with V and Mark, a trio with JP and Ella, and a trio with Gigi and Rose. At Final 7, V going there, I felt closer to Mark, and that's just what it was. I was even pinged at the Final 6. I was pinged by Rose an hour before the vote. Hey, if you want to keep Mark, let's do it. And I said no. And the reason I said no is because I had that trio with JP and Ella. A lot of our strategy aligned, and at the end of the day, I was calling some of the shots. Final 6 on was dictated by me. That's what that was. Strategy-wise, outside of the group decisions, I think the only group decision I heavily pushed was Joshua at Final 9. Joshua was the only person I was in danger of being nominated for real, seriously targeted the entire game. And I did that because a friend to all is a friend to none. If I didn't have a clear target, I was going to be caught so much earlier. Hated that it had to be Joshua because after our VC, I actually felt really bad and I really felt closer to Joshua, but I was kind of already locked in on that plan. That said, I feel like Rose says I was against the wall very early in the game. I feel like I played a massive part in those 3 being against the wall so early in the game. I strategically told people things, shared some information, left seeds to let things brew, to build the threat level and build the threat level, to know that worst case scenario, I sit on the block next to Gigi or Rose, I'm fine. I'm not even worried because I'm going to survive. I'm going to make it to this next week. And the fact of the matter is they won the competitions, but had they not, I had other paths to the end. The strategy that I played and I did left me in a position by strategically throwing comps. Those decisions I made alone, if they had lost those comps, they were in trouble. I wasn't in trouble. And I had path after path to the end, whereas they had one path to the end. And trading HOHs, the odds on that are not great. And ultimately, my strategy was just to blend in. And now I'm trying to stand out. And I do think that was my best play.
All right. This has been a long question, so thank you. Great answers. Knightley will watch this back whenever he is available. However, we are moving on to John Paul Jr. Bonita Brown Bader Ginsburg is in the building. The man of many dad jokes. Please welcome Jean Paul.
Hey, yo.
All right. JP, you're a good one.
Can you both hear me?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So I want to start off, respect to both of you. I always feel like you do something right if you make Final 2. That's just the way I say it. And so, and my votes are never locked until jury speeches. So I'll start, Dylan. So I do respect a loyal game. I do, for sure. Absolutely. However, so Gigi did hit me up before the Mark eviction and said he was he reached out to me and said he was down to cut you after the Mark eviction. And Rose kind of alluded to it with her goodbye message. Maybe she could talk about it. So strategically, why be like extremely loyal to someone who's down to cut you, especially when Ella and I were 100% down to go to Final 3 with you?
So for me, I knew Final 5 was going to be a big question here and a big factor in your vote. And I just want to explain where my thought process was. First, I don't think Gigi and Rose were cutting me. I think it is strategically smart for them to say that they would have. And I think revisionist history, they may say that they would have. I don't think they ever were. And that's just off my knowledge of the game. And that is off my relationships that I made. But this is what Final 5 was. I played that veto. I wrote it in my diary room. You can read it later. If you or Ella were leading in that competition, I was going to let you win, and I wanted one of them to leave. But in the case that Gigi or Rose started getting points, which is what happened, I would then need to win the competition to ensure my safety. Because I don't want to go on that block and have one of Gigi or Rose, especially in a live round, go to you guys and say, hey, Dylan's been with us the whole time. He's been lying to you. Vote him out. Right? That's a good pitch from one of them. I don't have much time to get your votes there. I'm not risking that. So then I went for that veto. Absolutely, I needed that. At that veto, I have two options. I burn you and Ella, or I burn Gigi and Rose. And the ultimate truth about it is, by burning you and Ella, I was playing Final Four veto at the top of the CN Tower. When I won that comp, I was at the top of the CN Tower. That was a comp I need. Like, if I was in that Final Four with you, Ella, Rose wins HOH. If I don't win that veto, I'm fourth place. Because I think you and Ella had made it kind of clear to me that you were taking each other to Final 2, especially in the fact that you guys kept saying, Final 3, Dylan. Let's go to Final 3. We just got off of VC. We want to go to Final 3 with you. It was never, we want to go to Final 2. And if I get cut there, like, yes, I did win Final Four veto, and revisionist history is revisionist history. But at the end of the day, I knew I was competing in that from God knows where in Toronto. And it ended up being at the top of the CN Tower. I got study time because I got really drunk the night before, and hangover Dylan wakes up at 8 a.m. for some reason. That's the only reason I got time to study for that competition. I was not banking on a Final Four veto to get myself here. By vetoing Rose, Final Four, if Ella doesn't win veto, I'm in the Final 3. And in that Final 3, even though I won Final HOH, they have both said they would have taken me. So then it comes down to the fact that by using that veto on Rose, I all but guaranteed myself a spot in this Final 2 to plead my case, a case that I still think is better than the other two that would have potentially been next to me. That's why I made the decision I did. I know strategically it's so hard to understand what the context had in the moment. And that is something that I really struggled with as well, because I don't expect to get your vote and I love to hear that it's open. That's where my logic was. I really think, like, I was not banking my entire game on a Final Four veto and then a Final 3 HOH, both of which I would have needed. I wanted that insured spot in the Final 2, and that is what I had. And that is where I am right now. And even better than that, I won my way here, so I made all the decisions to the end of this game. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So, Rose, would you say early, mid, or late game was your strongest game?
I mean, honest, I think I played I think my strongest was probably my mid game, and that's where I probably made the most unnecessarily messy moves. But I feel like realistically, that was also where I started to develop individual relationships with people like you and Ella and Meaty and like Joshua. Like, I feel like I'd written a lot of those off early game. And even though I was playing like more on top in the early game, I feel like I had kind of like not invested in those relationships until mid game. And I felt like that's where I really did try to be like as flexible as I could within the confines of the game that Dylan had already started spinning, right? Like, that's where it's like I had what I had in front of me. And I feel like my mid game is where I started to try to build relationships outside of the four and outside of like Young and Woo and people that I had been working with. And while it was like messy, I feel like it was fun, which I love doing. I feel like it was a piece of my game that like was where I really grew. And I think you guys just saw it as messy, but what it was me growing as a player and starting to figure out where those lines are and like how to lie in a way. I really had not really lied in a game up until this. This is my third org. So that's first, like, you guys know I'm very nice, I'm very congenial, I'm very loyal. And so that middle game is where I really started to try to figure out, how do I lie in a way that's beneficial to me? How do I do it in a way that's not going to blow up back on me? Like, you guys just experienced me growing, but for me, that was, I think, the strongest part, because I felt like that's when I was coming into like a better player. And like at the end of the day, like I think on the final 5 piece, like I don't know. I'm just surprised, Dylan, that you wanted to win that veto, because I did throw that final 5 veto to you so that you could get JP and Ella's blood on your hands. Like, I just don't understand how burning them that bad made sense for you. But I also like understand you were going to be burning anyone, and that's where you were put in a hard position as well. And so it's just one of those things that, like, if I had won that, if I had like really pushed to win that and didn't withdraw 3 rounds before the end, like, I just feel like then I would have been the one burning JP and Ella. So it's just like, I didn't want to do that. And I felt like, JP, I would have been fine burning you, but I didn't have the heart to like burn Ella to that level. So
Yeah,
I don't know. That's, again, probably a weak point of my game, but it's just the person I am. So
No, and I don't think getting burned is part of the game, in my opinion. I think that's like when people get salty. That's just part of it. But yeah, that makes sense. Okay, and for the record, for playing your third org, I think you played a phenomenal game. I mean, I could tell you my third org, I was not like you. So congrats to both of you. You both played great games, and good luck to both of you.
All right. Thank you very much, JP. Put you backstage. All right. Up next, we've got a fellow poet just like me. But does she have 6 published poetry books? I've one-upped her there. I'm just kidding. We've got one of my favorite people ever. Please welcome to stage, Ella.
Hi, you guys. Favorite people ever. Oh my gosh, you're so sweet. Also, maybe I'll get 6 published soon. Who knows? But regardless, congratulations to both of you. I'm really happy to see both of you here. And like, genuinely, like, I don't take like anything personally. I'm not personally mad at any of you or anything like that. Also, you were both very dressed up. I appreciate both of your fits a lot. It's giving. I appreciate it. And also, lastly, I will say that, I really respect, okay, I respect and appreciate both of your games a lot, genuinely, because Dylan, I feel like your kind of game is my favorite kind of game to play, and it's the kind of game I tried to play and wish I was able to. And Rose, I feel like yours is the kind of game that I envy, and I wish that I was more of like a power player in that way whenever I played. So hats off to both of you. I really appreciate both of your games a lot. And yeah, so I have like a 3-part question. So my question for both of you is, what do you believe is your biggest blunder, like your biggest blunder move in your game? What did that move teach you? And how did you move forward after that mistake?
I'll take this one first. My biggest blunder, and like I will say this, I have been saying this to my friends, I think I played one of my best games of all time. I'm so proud of myself. And my biggest blunder is my HOH 5th round. I threw the competition. I knew I was connected pretty much everywhere. In fact, nominating Young was nominating somebody who trusted me a lot. So my biggest blunder was getting power at all. And how did I learn from that was, at the time, my throwing competitions, I was still competing in them seriously. And then I was just sitting there waiting. So I competed in that HOH, and then I waited for like 2 minutes, and then I was like, okay, hit submit. And then I won. And when I won, I panicked. For all honesty, I saw that I won. I was in my lab, and I sat in my lab, and I went, oh, fuck, oh, fuck, oh, fuck, oh, fuck, oh, fuck, oh, fuck. And then what did I learn from it was to throw competitions more seriously, take that a lot more seriously, because how I was doing it was callous. and careless and could have, say that was final 10. Let's say that was final 8. That's not possible, final 8, Dylan. Learn your season trivia. Say that was final 7. I become playing the exact same game that Rose and Gigi were, a defensive game. I loved playing an offensive game. And I learned to throw comps more seriously and make sure I didn't win because of that HOH, which I still think I adapted to really well. I was able to use that HOH as a prover to the side of the house that wasn't the peepers, that I was with them when I wasn't. Because I nominated 2 of that 6, because I so heavily targeted 2 of that 6, and because I said, hey, it's one of the 6, I don't care who leaves. I would say a more personal mistake, and I'm not going to fully develop on this, is just how I managed our relationship, and that's more personal, and that's not even jury management. I don't think I'm getting your vote. Your last words were that I wasn't. I hope that you're open. Maybe you've heard some things that are better, but I don't like playing games when I genuinely hurt people, and I felt like I had genuinely hurt you, and that is something that I regret. And I have learned in my orgs going forward to be a bit more transparent with where I stand, even if it might damage my game, because it might not be worth the game. Thank you.
I feel like for me, I don't know. I honestly feel like I'm still kind of like processing this game, and like I've had many ups and downs. Like Prod will tell you, I've crashed out many times in this game about a lot of different stuff. And I feel like in the rounds of like Joshua and Ryan going out, I feel like I just feel like I overplayed in a way that was unnecessary. And I feel like that felt very anxiety inducing. Like I just feel like that whole like middle section, even though I said that it was the strongest, I feel like that's also where I made the most mistakes. And I just feel like for me it was one of those things that I just could see myself growing out of it. And I just feel like realistically, yeah, restarting the Pirates Alliance, like lying to Joshua that I was going to try to keep him when I wasn't. Like there were just so many things that I lied about that I think I didn't need to lie. Like I think people would have respected me just saying, no, I'm not going to keep you. And I feel like it was that like desire to like try to keep doors open that realistically, from the sounds of it, may have never really been open. And I believed that they were open, and I was lying in order to keep them open. And I feel like I hope that as you see it, right, like I do think I was much more transparent with you, and I think I learned from that because yeah, I mean, I've never been called out in an org the way that Ryan called me out, and for me that was kind of like a wake up call that like shit, I've really like kind of hurt someone or like done something that just like caused a reaction that I would have never wanted. And I think that's where like moving forward from Ryan, I do feel like I tried to be more transparent with people as they were walking out the door of like, yes, maybe I would consider this. And I seriously would have been like, if Final Five, if you had chosen to put Dylan and Gigi up, I think this would look completely different right now, because while Dylan doesn't think I would do it, I absolutely would have, because I was so bought in on an all women final 2. And I think that was like, I really do think my like soft spot for you. I just think I kept more doors open than I probably should have, especially with JP, because I don't think realistically he ever prioritized me, but he was so tied to you that I was willing to keep the door open. And that, like, I don't know, I just don't think that was beneficial to me. So I feel like to some, I think I did lie unnecessarily to people. And I hope that like D and you and JP like do see that like as the game progressed, I did try to be more transparent. I wasn't gonna like out our 3-person alliance, but I did try to be as straightforward with my game as possible moving after that set of like shit show rounds for me.
Sorry, just to clarify really quick, what would you say specifically is your like worst game move though?
I think
of all those things.
I think honestly, maybe this is not how you guys see it, but I feel like my worst game move was that weapons HOH. Whenever that happened, I feel like me wanting to protect it was so visible that I was protecting Dylan and Gigi and Liv, and I was shooting everywhere else. I was being so loud, so unnecessary. I feel like I could have just stepped back from that and not gotten as deep in it and not crashed out as much that it just like, yeah, I just feel like I could have handled that differently. It did give me opportunities to be vulnerable with people afterwards, but I really was like freaking the fuck out that I fucked that up. So, I mean, that to me feels like the moment that I had like the worst, I don't know, regret of, or yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much. I really appreciate both of your answers a lot, and being able to talk to you again before one of you is made the winner. I love both of you, and I'm really proud of whoever wins, no matter what happens. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Thank you very much, Ella. It's been a pleasure hosting you. Thank you very much for playing to begin with. Put you backstage. We have one last juror up on the roster. This season was based around the theme Awaken the Dragon, and this house guest did just that. The final juror who is going to have their say, recently evicted yesterday. Please welcome Gigi.
Hello, everybody. Are you guys listening to me?
My man's is here.
Yay. I mean, I don't think I need to tell you guys how much I like you and I enjoyed every single moment that we played together. But however, I am not gonna take easy on you both because I can say for everybody's in the jury that I saw with my own eyes what you were both capable of, and I was there for every single moment. And although I ended up being evicted, I am proud of you too. I think that you guys represent what this season was and how much we played like well together. And I was just gonna ask my questions, but I want to make a statement for both of you because I do believe that you guys are like killing it on this speech, but I think you guys like could do better. Like Rose, I think you should own more your game. Like I think you had an incredible game. You were up with your back up against the wall all the time. Maybe like me and you, we played this game together. And yesterday you told me that you used me as shield. I love that. Like I wanna hear that. I wanna hear that you like, yeah, as much as we were connected personally, I was using you. I was lying. Yes, I don't care that you lie, Rose. Like I love lying. I love people that lie in games. This is a game. People cannot be sad because you lied. So like own up, like, oh, I lied to Ryan to get his stones. Yes, you did, and you got it. You made a move there. So like own that, like be someone that like, oh yeah, I did that and it got me here where I am, and I'm sorry that you felt hurt about it, but I am not sorry about doing it. So like I am proud of you. I think you should like be proud of yourself too. I am gonna make a question to you, but I'm gonna turn to Dylan right now because Dylan, I loved your game. I think like if I could have done it like you, I would have. But I also I cannot say that I believe everything that you say you did because yes, I was there watching it. I was there like with you, and I think you were just a loyal person. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to diminish your game. I think you were very loyal, and you like showed to us that you were very loyal. And to me, some of those moves that you made might have like benefit more other people than yourself. And that is one of my questions to you because I do think that you are a loyal guy. You told me that like on the first day that we met, like, oh, I am a loyal person and am gonna ride with you till the end. So that is my question because you yourself use Survivor 48 as your example.
Yeah.
And I don't see you as a Kyle. I see you as a Neva and a Joe. I think you are both of them because you said it yourself. I am going to take my alliance to 3, and you did it. You have every opportunity. As you said in your game, you had a lot of trios, you have a lot of paths, You have a lot of ways to play this game, and you still chose to take your alliance. And Dylan, I am telling you, I was gonna take you out. I talked about it for a lot of rounds. So like you cannot say that I am lying about this because I talked about that a lot of times. I didn't care about like you going home. I care about getting there. So I applaud you for like saying that I wouldn't, but I would. And also I think that you need to tell me how was that your game was adaptable, because to me it wasn't. To me you were honest to this alliance that we had. And although that you say that you throw us under the bus and made us like be seen as targets, it did protect you too, because we were always protecting you. You were not always protecting us, but we were always protecting you. So how that was an adaptable game? And my question, my sole question to you is, do you consider yourself a person that too loyal, and do you think that it's worth it to be loyal to people throughout this whole game without even thinking of changing it, your gameplay? Because that is how I perceived your game, and I want you to tell me that that was not the case. Okay, to Rose. Rose, I think you are a main character. I think you were one of the main characters of this season, and we all four were, me, you, Liv, and Dylan. And I want you to tell me how what was your biggest arc in this season? What was that we can say it? Oh, Rose role in this season was that, because I want to know. I mean, I know that you were a main character, but I don't know what was your main event. What was your biggest event? And whoever answered this question better gets my vote, because I love you both. I am not decided, and I want you guys to tell me, to prove me that you guys are the better player of this season to represent me. And I'm sorry if I am too harsh on both of you. I love you, and I love this game, playing this game with both of you. Bye.
Well, that was a lot. 5 minutes. I'll give you both time to answer though. So go ahead.
Am I up or are you up?
I can go first. That's fine. I think to Gigi, like, what was my arc, or like what was my main character? I think from the moment that like I went to Dylan and like trusted him enough to do that first Arion clue with him, I feel like that was the birth of the Peepers. And from that moment on, as like I just feel like that moment was where Dylan made that alliance, and he had the relationships and I had the relationships with you and Liv as well. And that's where once that alliance was built, I just feel like I did truly commit so much into Dylan, and he took me here. Like and maybe he thinks that I'm a weaker player than you, and that's fair. But the reality is that my goal this season was to be in front of a jury. I've never had that opportunity, and I feel like, yeah, I mean, my goal in playing One Up was to one up my game, right, and like one up the player that I am, and like I've only played 2 orgs to this, and I knew both of those times I lost because I wouldn't lie, and I wouldn't backstab anyone, and I wouldn't like break my alliances. And so I feel like when I could feel that, like, oh, I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing the same thing, committing to this 4, trying to get Dylan to commit to me, and Liv commit to me, and Gigi commit to me. I feel like when I felt like that, I went a totally different direction than I've ever played, and I tried to start playing loud, right? I talked to Joshua about this. I was like, I need to be louder. I need to like kind of make something of my game that's not just this like weak behind the scenes social. Like I feel like people always like me as a person, but they never know like where I stand or what I'm doing, or like, and I feel like I may have overplayed, and yeah, I lied to the other side of the house a ton to be able to, like, Dylan saying he protected this relationship, part of that was me. Like I was sitting there also completely playing into the lie, confirming people's confirmation bias that we weren't close. I was saying like things about Gigi and Dylan and Ryan and Knightley. Like I was willing to play the part. And I feel like ultimately my arc is that I feel like I went from a deathly loyal player to being willing to at least lie a little bit, maybe be messy in the in between. I feel like getting Ryan to give me his stones with like Dylan doing that, like that for me was just like, oh my fucking god, I would never have done that in my life because it feels so bad. Like I am not that kind of person, so like those types of like sneaky, deceptive, lying types of things are so hard for me to overcome and like not make it feel like a value statement for me or like about me as a person. I feel like that's my arc. I feel like I did learn that I could still be proud of me and my game, even if it did mean that like I hurt people and I lied to people and like I don't know. I'm just learning that. And that's where it's like I'm so fresh in this that like I feel like the way I play my game is speaks to the person I am. And I think through this game I did learn to kind of decouple them in a way. I don't think I'm fully there. And I think this jury questioning has shown that. And I think that's why you feel I haven't like owned it because I don't like doing that to people and it just feels so uncomfortable. And I think I've grown in that and I've been able to do it. And yeah, I think that's my arc is like being able to decouple me as a person and the game player that I am and making some moves that were counter to something I would have ever done up to this point.
Your question was I too loyal? And my answer to that just really is Rose said it best herself. This game that Dylan, wait, do I get to answer? I have time to answer, right, Nathan? Yeah, okay. Okay. Rose said it best herself. This game that Dylan has shaped. And I want to emphasize that because Rose has been saying something this time that isn't true. The peepers did not start in me and Rose's chat. It started with me because I was making a trio with Gigi and Liv. And then I was talking to Rose. And I was really close with Rose. And I had that trio kind of in the making with Gigi and Liv. And I said, what if I combine the two? And I make this alliance. Then I made that alliance. And then I heard about this 6. So then I went and I threw you guys, as well as the rest of the members of that 6, under the bus because that was best for me. Attention on you guys. Let's focus on this 6. That means you 6 focus on the other people, but I'm safe because I'm in the peepers. That was best for me. Even if that hurt you guys, I was fiercely loyal to the end at the end of the game because it benefited me. I threw Final 5 HOH. That doesn't benefit our group. If I win Final 5 HOH, we have the best odds of moving forward. And I had a path to the win like 3 times. Rose said, go C1. I said, yes, because that was a free reason to throw. At the end of the day, why did I go to the end with the 2 of you? Because I felt I could beat you. I have played a better game, in my opinion, because while you guys had one path to the end, and I'm so sorry for if this is rude or demeaning, you guys had one path to the end, which was through me. I had many paths to the end. Up until Final 5, I had many paths to the end because I wasn't even nominated when I was the only unnominated person left in the initial nominations. Yes, I played loyal, but I played loyal the way Kyle played loyal because Kyle felt like he could beat Joe and Eva. And I am here in this Final 2 telling you, I wouldn't have come here if I didn't think I stood a shot. And I feel like I stand a chance because I shaped, maybe not the entire game. I think that's giving myself too much credit and demeaning other players. But I feel like I played a big part in shaping the game. Maybe the biggest part of anyone else on this season. And strategically, with the moves I made, the position I held, and the way I literally was almost never in danger, I don't regret my decision to come here to this Final 2. At the end of the day, I won 5 competitions, tied for the most this season, and I threw so many that I actually can't give you a number because I can't even count it. And that's where I am.
That was awesome, guys. I loved it. I'm sorry if I sounded harsh, but good luck to you too. It answered my questions, and I love both of you. I wish you guys the best, and I can't wait to talk to you guys after this, okay? Kisses. Love you guys. Bye.
Thank you, Gigi. Thank you so much. All right. Where's Gigi? Let's have to kick him out. Okay.
It's not Gigi. That's Dylan's older boyfriend. Don't get it wrong.
Yuck. All right. As for the final two, like you had said previously, you are going to give a 5-minute tops final statement to plead your case one last time. This could either make or break your case. This is the final time in which you have to utilize your time to plead yourselves to the jurors. So if I am correct, I think Dylan, you go first here.
Nope.
Rose, you go first here. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. With that being said, this is your final 5 minutes to plead your case in this game. You've made it as far as you humanly could. It's now up to this. So, Rose, I'm going to give you center stage here. And your final 5 minutes begins whenever you begin to start talking.
All right. Well, this has been a lot tougher than I thought it was going to be. But I do think that ultimately I wanted to sit next to Dylan because I thought I could win against Dylan. And while he's sitting there being extremely confident and saying that he was never in danger and all of this side or perspective that he has, I have a similar perspective. And it just comes down to whether you as jurors were being honest to me. He had these alliances. I had alliances with V. I had alliances with the Pirates. I had an alliance with Ella and JP. Like, I just feel like realistically, like, I had connections, and I think Dylan sees his connections as stronger. Only you guys will really know who you were loyal to. But for me, I felt comfortable coming with Dylan because I know that I played a game that ultimately, yes, I lied a bunch. Yes, I was like targeted from the beginning of this game. And I think the reality is that because of that position I was in, I had to play hard 100% of the time. Like, I'm going to be honest, Dylan, like, you sitting there saying that you can't count the number of competitions you threw, like, we're here to fucking play. And like the reality is I didn't get the leisure of being able to throw this stuff. Like, every single one of you knew that I was a threat to win this game because of my social, because of my strategy, because of my comp abilities. And yet Dylan still brought me and chose me twice. He chose me to save me twice. And the fact that he is sitting here feeling so confident against me, he is doing a disservice to his game and he's doing a disservice to mine. Because realistically, I did play this game. I mapped out every move before I ever talked to Dylan. I mapped out who, and you'll see this when you get it after this, you will see my alliance maps through every single stage of this game. I saw who had the weakest points. That was the person that I wanted to make an individual relationship with so that I had one more round with them. I didn't have the leisure of sitting back and throwing comps. I was constantly busting my ass. And yes, that sometimes meant lying to you guys, but my goal was one more round. And you know what? Sitting next to Liv, that did get me one more round. Having Gigi through this whole game, I knew that that would get me one more round. And so, yes, Dylan can sit here and feel very confident, but I'm very confident in the game that I played. This is my best game that I've ever played. And the reality is that I was up against the wall the whole fucking time. I did not get to sit back and move the chess pieces around. I was in panic mode from final 14 onward. I was doing everything I could to win this game and to make it one more round to get to this point. And I knew that had to be investing in Dylan. And the fact that he took me here and he knows that I have a possibility of winning against him, I think he would have made a much better case against Gigi than me, because I do have confidence in the personal relationships that I built with each of you. And I know that you see me as a strategic player. I know that you see me as a social player. And I really feel like you should reward the person who had to bust their fucking ass through this game, not someone who sat there and threw competitions and was willing to just let it play out the way it did. I did not get that. And I busted my ass to be here. So for Dylan to sit there and say he threw a bunch of comps, like, that just fucking pisses me off, dude. Like, I tried every single time, and the moments that I did throw, I really did it so that Dylan or Gigi or Liv would have a bigger target than I did. And it worked out because I always had Gigi and Liv as bigger targets there. So yeah, I mean, you know, Dylan feels confident. I feel confident too. And I know I deserve to win this. So please vote for me. Make this season the first season to have a woman winner. And I really, really feel like I have grown hugely as a player in this. And a win would just be such a testament to that for me. So thank you guys. I'm sorry, Dylan. I just I don't think you should win if you're sitting there throwing a bunch of shit. So I had to bust my ass. So sorry if that's a little rude, but that's where I'm at.
All right. Thank you very much, Rose. That is your final moments here within the One Up Big Brother arcade. I will now move you backstage. Thank you very much. Dylan, the time is yours whenever you want to utilize it. I'm going to get off the screen. Whenever you start speaking, your time will start. 5 minutes.
Okay, so closing speech. This is where I am at. Firstly, I think the big negative to my game that Rose had there was that I threw competitions. Here's my thing. I'm tied for the most comp wins this season. Yes, I threw competitions, but that doesn't mean I wasn't putting in work all the time. I was putting in work socially and strategically, and that work didn't come out in comps because if I had won a comp, I was fucked. Why? Because everyone was keeping me safe. There was 10 unique HOHs this season that did not include my 2 HOHs. None of them put me up on the block. There was 34 nominations. None of them were me. I played this game from the start as hard as I could with the time that I had. Rose said the words, Dylan shaped the game that Dylan shaped. I shaped this game. I created the peepers. I created side alliances with the nerds, with JP and Ella. I was able to plant the seeds of, hey, these 6 are big threats. I put up Young and Josh. I pushed this narrative. I put in so much work to always be safe. I won 5 competitions. I held so much power. From Final 6 on, I was the one who decided who left, when, and why. Why did I take Rose to the end? Because I believe I can beat her. Because I believe I have a better game than her. She says she played this entire game up against the wall. She was up against the wall because of actions I took. She says she would have stayed next to Liv. I don't know if that's true. I also think that when it comes down to it, I think transparency is a big thing in the final 2. A lot of Rose's comments have not checked out. She said in the first question, I believe, hey, my final 2 was Dylan. And then the jury pandering with Ella to say, I would have cut Dylan. Which one is it? I've been transparent with you. I have told you where I'm at this entire time. This was my game. I had alliances everywhere. I was constantly safe. A couple of you have said you're envious of my game. And the thing is, I don't know how else I can describe it other than what I've given you. Yes, you guys don't believe I was strategic, but the strategic came in the ability to be social. I was always safe. Final 5, you guys say, hey, why did you bring Rose and Gigi? I think that is the flaw most people have with my game. And the truth is, Final 4, let's say I go there. Rose wins that competition, right? I probably stay next to Gigi. Final 4, I'm there, and I've burned them. What do I do? Or Rose stays next to Gigi. I win veto. I discard it. If I don't win a veto, which, yes, I know I dominated, and you can use revisionist history against me, but I played that at the top of the CN Tower. I was not banking on that win. And the ultimate, fact of the matter is, I won it. And I made it to the end, but I always had passed to the end. Gigi would have cut me. Why would Gigi have cut me? Because I was dangerous. Because I controlled this game as well as I could. I had so much power a lot of the time. And I think if you're going to say somebody controlled the game that Dylan created, you should award the person who created the game. I made certain paths for myself to move forward constantly. Yes, I threw competitions. Those competitions were thrown so I could move forward constantly. And I had the ability to throw them because of the work I put in elsewhere. Yes, there are flaws in my game. I'm not going to pretend it's perfect. And a big flaw is maybe I threat level managed a little too well. And the thing is, I hope you can see now, and the answer is that a lot of the game that my other finalist, who I love and respect, and I actually think played an incredible game, I think a lot of us did, a lot of your answers haven't really revealed much, while my answers have shown you a whole new side to my game. And the fact that I was strategic in every decision, I was socially covered under every avenue, and I won competitions and I could have won more. I encourage you to vote for the person who had the one up on the competition. I was constantly in the power position, and as much as it may not have seemed like it, that is where I was. And at the end of the day, that's what it does come down to. I am sorry that I hurt people. I'm truly sorry that I hurt people, but I did not jury manage. I didn't do goodbye messages because I think they're fake. I think they're in the essence of pleading a case you don't even know you're going to get to make. I wasn't going to jury manage. I was going to be upfront with you. I was going to be honest with you. And the honest truth is, I'm sorry that I hurt people, but I am not sorry for the game that I played. I am not sorry for constantly being in a position of power. And I am not sorry to ask for your vote here because I truly believe that I deserve it. Thank you. Shit, that alarm was supposed to go off.
Right on time.
There we go. There's the alarm. Thank you.
All right. My finalists. That is where this story closes. You have both pleaded your cases, both said all you humanly could say and needed to say within this time. However, the power now lies within the jurors' hands. I want to say, as a host, this is by far and between the strongest final two that I've ever seen within this series' history. Both of you, no matter how this turns out, because even us, me, production, we don't know how this is going to turn out. But I want you both to know I am extremely proud of you both. You did so phenomenally well. Your game... See, Rose is used to this. I cried. Your games this season, so good. And I want you to know, like, me as a host, like, I don't do this shit lightly. I do this for the passion. I do this to see you all compete. You should be very proud. No matter how this turns out, I'm going to be proud of whatever winner. But that's it for me and how this turns out. I adore both of you sincerely so much. This was the best jury Q&A I've ever hosted. I said this could take an hour. We are now going on 2. And that is a testament to the passion that both of you have and the fight, you know. So I applaud you both, for real, for real. It's going to be hard for the jurors. With that being said, that concludes this chapter. I will see you all tomorrow for the finale of the season, where one of you will become the 4th winner of One Up Big Brother, walk home with $150, and be inducted within the winner's circle of this series. Again, great job, both of you. Seriously. I'm breaking the 4th wall here by saying that. Really, good job. Please decide a time in which you're both available. If 7 p.m. works good for you tomorrow. If not, that's okay.
Can I make the request of 6 p.m.? I have Survivor plans.
That's fine with me.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do 6 p.m. Rose, if that works.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. We got a finale planned for 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Tomorrow, we will have a winner revealed. We will have all the award ceremony following and the season 5 announcement. So,
thank you so much for hosting.
You're very welcome.
And yeah, Rose, if it's anything I said that made you cry, I'm actually really sorry. I didn't know that's. I'm sorry.
That's all I have for you for tonight. I will see both of you here tomorrow for finale. I'm going to end the stream. Thank you.